And welcome to your virtual field trip to the Conestoga Waterloo Region Museum, your community museum. During this video, we're going to get you thinking about what life was like here in Waterloo Region over 100 years ago. Have you ever moved before? If you moved, what would you bring with you? When the Mennonite families moved from Pennsylvania here to the Waterloo region 200 years ago, they would pack their belongings in a Conestoga wagon, just like the one you see here. The wagons can be very large, but they might not be able to fit everything in the wagon. The Mennonite family would have to be very selective over what they brought with them for their new life here in Canada. 200 years ago, the Mennonites would bring things that were important to them, things that they would need for the journey, and things that they would need to be helpful for their new life here in Canada. So here we have a miniature Conestoga wagon, and here are a few things that I think are fairly important for the Mennonite family to bring along with them. So what we have right here first is a bunch of food. So they would need to pack the food for their journey here to Canada. So they would bring things that could last for a long time, like dried apples, wheat seeds, or corn. So let's put that into our wagon. The next thing that was very, very important for them to bring would be things like tools. So these tools would be essential for starting their life here in Canada and for building their very own farm. So those would be must-haves for their journey. Now, on a more fun note, they would bring their cows with them. So they would bring a variety of farm animals to support their life here in Canada. So these would be a very good source of food for the family. Now, one of my favorite things that they would be bringing with them would be something like a clock. So they wouldn't bring the entire clock. So clocks back 200 years ago would be big and boxy, and they couldn't fit in a Conestoga wagon very well. So instead, they would simply bring pieces of the clock, and they would pack that in a little box like this and bring with them. Now, one of my last things that I like that they would bring is personal belongings like books. So these could be books that they would cherish and that would amuse them along the way and for their life here in Canada. Now, what are some things that you would bring if you had to move to a different city or different country? Would you bring your favorite books? Would you bring your favorite games? Would you bring things for starting out your new life?